left off last time.
Talking to the bitches.
Talking to the bitches. Yep, okay.
Wait, Brisk isn't here yet. Now we're going down to. We went through Pitchwood. Someone, was it Sylvanus, convinced them to attack the lake and start something up and set up traps and things like that.
Pitchwood, always up to no good.
Yes, so the pitchlings, the inhabitants of the Pitchwood Forest, these fey-like creatures that have an affinity for fire and kind of light things or ignite things with their mere presence, agreed that they would take pitch from the Pitchwood and light the lake, light the Nasham River on fire, um, or create other kind of hazards for Steppengard's forces as they march forward. Now, one of the things that I think that we started to talk about was you guys approaching Dashkaban. And as far as timing goes, I got a little bit ahead of myself because I was excited and I wanted to keep things moving. So the horses that you guys have can travel approximately 60 miles per day. So leaving Gallows Fend, where Gallo is currently here, and I put this token right here, the burning horse, to kind of represent you guys, or burning deer. You guys can make it to just about the outskirts of the Pitchwood Forest um, by the end of day 3, which was when you set off from um, Gallows, because you guys spent a day traveling up to the Elite Path. You rested after the battle at the fort. You traveled back to Gallows Fend, which took a day. You had a chance to rest, and then you took off. You headed south, went directly through the Pitchwood Forest, met with the Pitchlings. And you can make to basically the outskirts of the forest before moving on. The only reason I want to bring it back there is to say that if anybody has heard at all, I don't think anybody has, or if anybody's expended any spells or anything, you guys can rest and recover anything that may have been expended. The other things to consider that Gallo had said is, one, your primary mission was to get Dashkaban to be like to get him to join up and to send forces. So he's about maybe a quarter of a day's ride to from the Pitchwood Forest. However, right here, it's not on the map, but roughly right here is the small village of Pittsburgh. That one of the things that had been suggested was that the peoples of Pittsburgh could use their annual crop of pitch to burn the river. This would be another thing that you could do to harry and slow down Steppengard's forces. The catch to that is they effectively would be burning their livelihood in support of Gallo, and that there might be some resistance to that idea. You guys don't have to do that. You've already convinced the pitchlings to kind of capitulate. Haha, I like what I did there. But I did want to mention that that was there. And also, since I think that maybe starting from where you guys rest in the Pitchwood is a good point to pick up today or this evening.
I guess we can just pitch it back to the group then.
Oh my god, shut up. Tom, you went to Pittsburgh State College, right?
Yes, home of the mighty pitchers. Yes.
Interesting. Yeah, so I mean, what are people thinking?
Well, whatever happens, now we have to make sure that
move on.
Yeah, we should make sure that Dashkaban doesn't go through the Pitchwood now, though.
Those guys aren't gonna like you. They're gonna think you're someone else.
What happened to the reinforcements? Oh,
There's a cut
funny
scene.
story
It's just a
about
cut scene to like bodies on fire, people on like spikes, and these like little demonic like fey creatures like just running around going, "We did our part. We did our part."
it's like the scene out of Devil Man Crybaby. If you know it, you know it.
I think the thing to kind of remember is that per the way the game is set up, when you set out to go to the Elite fort, to check out the Elite Gap and to stop by the forts, that is the same day that if you had not taken any proactive measures or failed at your proactive measures when you were in Brest, Steppengard and his forces would have begun to march north to Gallo. Um, you guys were very successful in that. So in that you have bought some time, and I don't think we've talked about how much time you bought, but it does mean that time is something of a factor to consider, specifically because it's going to take Dashkaban's forces time to rally and march to Gallo's Fen, as well as Lady Timor's forces.
Yeah, we have to get in touch with both of them anyway, right?
Yes.
All right, so I guess we're resting and then continuing to Dashkaban.
Okay. So you guys, I'm gonna just use this token to represent you guys. You guys rest in the pitchwood. That none of the pitchlings set you guys on fire. They're very excited to know that they have a focus in the coming days, in if not like week. And you guys progress on to um, Lord Dashkaban's fortress, which I think I had described briefly, kind of as we closed out last time. But basically, only 20 miles separate the home of Lord Dashkaban from the edge of the Pitchwood. It's a castle that's been built into a stone outcropping that is streaked with like erosion from rainwater and frost and other things, so that it's got those like kind of rusty streak marks at the corners of everything that make it look like some sort of massive monster has clawed the masonry that makes up this castle. Um, as you guys, there is no surrounding city around the castle. It's just the castle itself, and the lands leading up to it are just scattered farms and small villages. As you approach the castle, Dashkaban's cavalry are practicing maneuvers, and they kind of like they look to you with some wariness, but you have a traveling companion that's with you right now that can clearly like just sort of pass this, not pass this, but like effectively just sort of like give the like the all clear that they will understand and appreciate. And I'm just trying to remember what that dude's name is that you guys have. McKeeson. Yes. So, um, are you guys? Do you guys want to stop to talk to them at all, or do you just want to press on and get to the castle itself?
I'd probably just say go to the castle, but that's me.
Who's
Yeah.
them? Talk to them.
So the soldiers that are the practicing cavalry that are in the fields leading up to the castle.
Okay.
Oh, just like
No.
as we're getting close.
Yeah, like you're basically closing in on the castle right now to get there. Much the same as when you got to Gallows Fen, there were those fields where you saw like there were some villages, but there were also like troops training. Very much the same kind of scenario. But if the sort of concept is to keep going just to get to Dashkaban, you're able to get there unharried, and they basically you're kind of you go up to the castle. There's like a portcullis that's lowered as you arrive, and like kind of soldiers as you get there cross their halberds in front of you and say, Can we help you?
Time for O'Malley.
McKeeson chuckles and he's like, we are here on a diplomatic mission from Lord Gallo and need to speak to Lord Dashkaban. And so he like shows the papers that you have with the marks of passage and everything, and the people with the crossed halberds like call over their shoulder, and there's like these kind of courtiers that come out and take the paperwork and head in, and then a short time later, a pale-haired aging dwarf with a soft beard, which sounds like the worst way to describe any dwarf's beard, comes out. He kind of stands with like a broad chest kind of held high, and he kind of walks up, and he effectively, rather than like have to role play the whole thing, you can tell within like the first few moments that he considers himself like not only like the keeper of his people, but also very much so the protector of all of Dashkaban, and that anything that he does, he puts his people first. Um, he does not like anything that's been coming out of Bresk or the current rule of Steppengard, but he's also not a fool and does not want to send his men to war unless he can be convinced that such a course of action will benefit not only himself, but all of the lands of Dashkaban. You guys have already made his proxy helpful when you were in Bresk, and if you guys are able to show him either the papers that you found or make the decapitated head speak the words that you could so do, he is happy to help you guys, and you don't have to make any checks. Now, if anybody flips him off or does anything like that when he shows up, you might have to make a check roll, but I'm going to assume that you're not going to do that. I'll take the silence as a no. All right.
Yeah, I think we were planning on, what was it? Taking the all the papers anyway, so that
Yes,
we could actually show them.
Yeah, you for sure have the papers that you discovered. You for sure have the note from Gallo himself, and if you wanted to have brought the head to make it talk, you could do that as well. But basically, all the steps that you guys have succeeded in so far, Dashkaban readily it like is on board, and so I just want to tell you guys. He immediately orders 1,000 cavalry and 2,000 foot soldiers to muster and march to join the forces at Gallows Fend. It will take them roughly 5 days to arrive there. So if you guys are currently on 1, 2, 3, day 4, they will arrive at Gallows Fend on day 9. After interacting with Dashkaban and securing his aid, he kind of excuses himself to go back to kind of rally his forces and get those things going, and it's up to you guys to decide where you're going to go next. For a rough breakdown of what you can do with getting over to talk to Lady Tamor, there's a few things that you can do. One is you could stop at the Pittsburgh to try to get them to also harry Steppengard's forces, which would be roughly here. Oh, nope. Go back to where you were, Dashkaban. That's not where I wanted to do. All right. Which is roughly here. You can take the road from Dashkaban's castle to Lady Tamor's castle, which is 140 miles, or you guys could go back into the Pitchwood, then take like a quick hard turn to climb the Glasskill Cliffs, and it is only a 90-mile trip to get there. However, the Glasskill Cliffs are roughly are a stone formation that is roughly a half a mile tall that you will either have to climb or summit some other way. Horses are not an option.
What are people thinking?
Well, we found out we can fly everywhere, right?
Right.
But
I
only
mean,
for
the
10
idea was generally
No,
going
way
to be
more.
a
4, 5 hours.
4 or 5
5
hours.
hours and 20 minutes, something like that.
yeah.
I did this during downtime. I'll put this into Discord. So this might be helpful because I know we did a lot of math last time, and as Kevin was quick to point out, maybe some of our math wasn't right, but let's just do this. You know why you're doing that? Stop that. Come on, computer. Thank you. Copy. Paste. So that should be the rough breakdown of what you can do in 10 rounds, so in a minute when flying. I don't know if anybody has, Obscurity might have the ability to do a double dash as far as like an action and a move action and an action, but I don't know if everybody has that ability, but I put that in there just in case.
Yeah, she can double dash, but the rest of us can only dash. So we have our move action, and then we can use our action to dash. She could bonus action to dash on top of that.
Yep. I thought there was so I was kind of looking into this, and I thought that I didn't know, but it didn't seem like it was capable of doing a triple move action, or is that something that's legit? That's like you could move, you could then do a bonus to dash, but I don't think you could then use your action to dash, or you can't. I wasn't sure. Like there was some conjecture about it online, and I wasn't 100% on it, so that's why I only went for a double dash for movement on this. But I'm happy to kind of talk about that further. I went with what I could find before opening up tonight.
Well, it would provide 3 movements as opposed to, in this case, it's saying
2,
like twice as much, which is basically 4 movements.
Well, yeah, I guess you're right.
So we all have the dash fly available to us if we wanted to. If we gave
yes.
up like the whole turn.
Yes. And the map
we got to Dash Gaban. We were able to talk to this guy. Things are good. And then I think we're going to the cliffs, right, guys?
I think the question is, are you riding to the cliffs, or are you taking a different means of transportation? The cliffs are 90 miles away. You can travel 60 miles, which means it will likely be you've traveled 20 miles, so you can travel 40 miles more, so you can get probably just outside the Pitchwood, and then to get there, you could get to the basically you could get to the Glasskill Cliffs at the end of the next day. So it would be 1, 2, 3. This is day 4. At the end of day 5, you would be at the base of the cliffs, and then day 6 you could try to get up there if you're traveling by horse and then flying or doing whatever. On day 6, you could fly to get to the top there.
Okay, I think that's the plan. Unless anyone has any thoughts outside of that.
If no one says no, then it's a yes.
A little bit.
Okay. All right. So you guys secure the aid of Dashkaban, and you move back through the Pitchwood Forest. The pitchlings are happy to see you again. You can see that they're readying their actions, and like they've got all these, they've got like these, they look like big slingshots that they're packing like balls of what looks like tar next to them, and they're basically like pitch slings that they're going to use to like shoot out of the woods, Robin Hood style, at Steppengard's forces as he goes by, which will inevitably either hit those forces or definitely melt the river. So that's their plan. They seem to be very excited.
You know, I'm very excited about it. So
I'm excited that you're excited. Let's do this. All right. All right. So you're no checks necessary. You're able to make it through the night. That closes out day 4, and then on day 5, you guys make it across the Nasham River to the base of the Glasskill Cliffs. And as you guys get there, you're able to set up camp. Is there anything anybody wants to do? Either to set up camp or to get ready, or what are you guys looking to do at this point?
did we need remove curse? Someone had said that, right?
I think there was conversation about it.
I think we were talking about for exhaustion, or to remove exhaustion, or who had something going on with them. The madness? Oh, yeah. For TJ.
Ew.
The voice in his head.
That's just thinking.
Which has been surprisingly quiet.
Yeah, it was all talkative last game.
Oh, I mean, there was stuff happening. Now you guys are just being nice and talking about stuff.
Yeah, we try.
Do we?
Yeah, we try.
We fail, but we try.
Okay.
I mean, you admit it. I think that's I appreciate it. But remove curse was one spell that you guys were talking about, and then I think that there was Moruk. Wasn't there something else that you were working on, or you were trying to cook up that you needed time to prepare because you didn't have it originally, or was that with regards to enhancing and imbuing the fly spell?
No, neither. I think it had to do with us being able to communicate with the elves, and he did that.
Yeah. And then there was magic mouth as well, but then
Yep.
that didn't go anywhere.
Right. No, it was for us to be able to comprehend, or for Sylvanas to be able to comprehend languages.
Gotcha. For a conversation with the pitchlings. Okay. All right. So, I think as my map continues to try to update, because I try to move you guys to the base of the cliffs, and now it's just a spinning wheel of death. I might as well just continue.
Spinning wheel, yeah.
The spinning wheel. That means I can't do it. Oh, watch out, Icarus. The sky is burning. Is not responding. Oh no, shit! You just spent 6 minutes spinning. All right, let's just wait
You
and see
spin
what
me
happens.
right round, baby, right round.
The
I don't like when Eric's a
unfortunately,
bard.
I can sing.
You keep saying
Your
that,
music choice is a
but then
bad
what
bard.
you do is not.
So, the
Somebody's
Glassgill Cliffs
jealous.
form an. I'll wait. I'll wait for our singer.
I'm done.
I'm done. All right. The Glassgill Cliffs form a natural border between Lady Tamoor's land and Wood. The cliffs are, generally speaking, approximately 2,500 feet tall, or feet high, with multiple small ledges that break up a climber's pace into smaller ascents and sharp shearing winds. So at some points, the way up these cliffs, if you're going to climb, is kind of like switchbacks, and then sometimes it's just hand over hand climbing. Um, there are, as you look up at the base of these, and you see that like the winds are just like blowing across it, and you can see that it's created windrows of like snow and other things like in various pockets across it, and you can see these like dark spots on the cliff face even at night, darker than and then other parts that clearly indicate that there are caves pockmarking the faces. uh, the cliffs themselves, just so you know, there is no like Bilbo Baggins finding the walkway into the Goblin King's lair here. They are merely potential shelters from the stormy and inclement weather, rather than being something that leads anywhere. Um, I'm going to assume that in the morning you guys are going to fly up them, unless you have a different plan.
I think you're right.
Okay.
I don't know.
So-
I got some rear delt work to do, so maybe I'll.
You're like, I've been riding a horse for a couple days. I'm kind of haven't been at the gym. Haven't done the things. Haven't put in the work. Um,
We're flying
So-
obscurities just running up.
she's just like on her hands.
Exactly. I was just gonna say on
Yeah.
my hands.
So if you choose to fly up the cliffs, um, that is totally done. Um, Travel through the winds is does treat this area as difficult terrain for flying creatures. However, a hero could dash and travel up to 600 feet per minute. Um, the only but or 1,200, because there is a basically there's a strength. The way that the game has it set up is that there is a strength check to make, and if you make the strength check, you can fly at full speed. If you fail the strength check, you don't not move, you only move your standard amount, just like if you had stepped into difficult terrain. In fact, I think that my favorite comment is that, oh look, Roll20 is finally updating. Thank you, Roll20. Just took 10 minutes. But my favorite comment is that if all checks are made, this trip will take less than 5 minutes. However, if you do not pass your checks, the heroes, after being tossed violently about by winds, will probably arrive airsick. And I like that. It makes me laugh.
And what check are we making?
So it is hold on, I'm sorry. It is a strength check, and it is a DC 10 strength check. Not athletics, but strength check to be able to move at like more than your base speed. If you do not pass the check, you don't fail in a negative way, but you only move your base speed, which is the 600 feet.
Oh.
Don't forget that I'm sure several of you have inspiration and whatnot. And if we're going to just jump right into it, I'm going to move you guys to a different map.
Oh, God. That's even more.
Someone's
I
not
love it.
inspired.
Not inspired
Savannah's-
anymore.
You know what, Savannah? It's because of your song. That's what's happening.
Fair enough.
All right, Glasskeeled Cliffs. Bam, bam. Let's open this up. Let's shift it all the way down. This is a very long map. You'll notice that there is a.
I'll throw you a guidance though.
Ooh,
There is
that'd
an
help.
engorged hockey player munching on what looks like a rice bowl. That is your entourage member from Gallo.
That's the
If you
G4, Kevin, right?
Yes.
if you want McKeeson to come, you
Jesus.
would need to cast Fly on him because McKeeson doesn't have that. McKeeson does have. I just want to double check this. McKeeson does have a +3 to his strength check, so he should be able to be okay-ish.
Well, we just saw what a +4 can do, so. Or can't.
Yeah.
You'll also see that the map scale is that each square is basically 50 feet. So if you move six, and everybody's vision has, because of the size of this map, I have doubled everybody's dark vision. So everybody should be able, everybody, if you map it out, should be able to see double what it is that you normally can see. Because it's daytime and you're not using dark vision, but because it's stormy and the winds are blowing and there's all sorts of shit blowing around you guys, that's where you're at. So does everybody want to roll a strength check to see how far you can move?
This is where I apply flying, right?
Yes, everybody's going. Well, so you may not need to extend the flight unless you want to continue using it at the top of the cliffs, because it should only take 5 minutes to get to the top. So that is up to you. Oh, so
Tom
McKeeson passes. Obscurity, you want to use a
Yep, done.
bonus or something? Something?
Inspiration.
what is
I
it?
just rolled again, and I used my.
Oh, there you go. All right.
Inspiration.
I thought it was 10 that you had to get to. Oh, that one. I didn't even see the
It was
first
9.
one.
Yeah, 9
Gotcha.
unfortunately comes before 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, goddamn numbers and how they work.
No, I
Bullshit.
just didn't see that one. So 9 became before the 13.
And so
Well,
remember, anybody who passes this can move unless they're using the using the double dash or potentially triple dash that obscurity has. You can move double your speed. So if you don't pass this, you're going to move 600 feet. If you do pass this, you're going to move 1,200 feet. So McKeeson, just 12 feet. I gotta shift my map around so I can see this. Nope, I just grabbed my rock. I'm not moving. Think. do this. Actually, wait. You have a. That's not right because that's. Wait, are you right at 1,200 feet, Nim?
That is. I just moved to 1,200.
Okay, cool. No, the reason I asked was I thought you had taken some sort of like movement thing, and then I realized we're talking about flying and not your base move. That's why I was like, wait a minute, are you further along or where is that? So
Right.
okay.
I did find out there's an issue with flying. I thought it was like 6 creatures, because I thought it was like Featherfall, but it's only 1 creature per level. So for one creature for level spell level 3, and then if I cast it at 5th level, I can have 2 other creatures, but that's about it. So however we did it before, it might have just been a little wonky there.
Okay.
The rest of the math I think checks out. So
Okay.
then we can do.
I will ask one question though. What are you guys doing with your horses that you've ridden?
Can we have them just kind of go back?
I mean, you could. Your plan is to be back here later today. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if it's
like-
that quick, then I guess we'll
like,
kind of
if you are
hide them behind
climbing
some
this,
trees
yeah,
or something.
if you were climbing this, you might want to think about sending them back. But like, if it's going to take you 5 minutes to get up there, and then from the top of the cliffs to Lady Timor's castle, it's a couple miles. Like you could walk there in like an hour or so. So,
Okay.
or fly there and get there even sooner. So.
Right. Well, we're going to be using the rest of the time. At
Yeah,
least.
no, 100%, 100%. So.
So yeah, it's going to be something where we are. What are we doing? We're just kind of going to be going up. I think we would hide them behind. I don't know if there's something we could hide them behind, or some trees or bushes or something, just to keep them out of sight.
The map where you guys are starting is basically like the edge of the forest where it touches the cliffs. So those yellow, like broccoli-looking things are trees. So you guys could just
right.
like tie them to a tree or tether them or whatever. So you could also leave one of you behind if you want to. I mean, it's up to you. What you want to do?
You just cast spider climb on all the horses.
You ride them up, clip, 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 clip. I think that if you guys were a party that had horses that you had been training or like working with, that's one of the coolest things I've ever. But if you just cast spider climb on a horse and tried to make it climb like a cliff, I 100% think the horse is going to be like, "Fuck you, I'm not doing that," unless you could like speak with animals or something.
But sounds like no. We don't have that.
In the moment, no.
So yeah, we're tying those guys and flying up.
Okay.
And
so
then
if,
some of us
yeah.
are keeping up.
Yeah, if people, so again, anybody who failed, you can probably make it to right about here. That should be about 600 feet. And anybody who passed, just keep moving up the map, and you're going to get up to where you're going to see Nim and McKeeson.
And my move, I'm still going 1,200 feet. I know you guys were doing some calculations earlier, but
So if you
can
pass your
go
strength check,
further
yeah.
if you wanted to throw out
if you wanted to double dash.
double dash, right?
yeah,
So I could go
bonus.
another 600 feet, or I can go another 1,200 feet, or I can just go another whatever my base move is.
So I think yeah, according to the math, you could go 2,400 feet, because if you double moved and then double dashed, you could get that
Double
far.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. The one thing is that if anything happens to you, you are 2 moves away, provided people make, well, 1 move away, provided people make their strength check. So before, how about this? How about as you get up there and as other people move themselves where they're going to be on the map, I want some rolls to happen first, just to get an idea of some stuff.
I'm out.
all right. So I mean, if you do, listen, you do what you're going to do.
Running free.
Zip. All right. So where is everybody else on the map as obscurity disappears into the smoke, and not the smoke, but like the
No longer
storm and the wind above. Yeah, she's just like, I am one with the winds. This is gonna be so fun. All right, so Venice and Morak, where are you guys going? You're just staying with the horses? Fuck this, I'm not going up the cliff.
Well, we don't want the horses scared, so
Morak's trying to give him hot cocoa, and like, so Venice is like, I'm pretty sure chocolate will kill a horse. They're like dogs. Don't do it.
Venice, you know the song "Let's Get Down to Business"?
I do.
You know,
I do.
We
I
had
know
to-
that one very well.
Yeah.
he's gonna fire a firework bomb at the mountain as we're flying up.
Avalanche.
Right. What was this for? I don't remember. Watch out.
Effect. Utter effect. I hope the horses survive. Goodbye, everybody. So yeah, so like, if you guys want to move on the map, because some stuff is gonna happen, but I want people to move first.
I'll cast fly on us. You have to stay back and sync
Oh,
them as the climb.
Yeah, we were definitely doing that. The fly was done. It's just more of a
Well, yeah. So
if
Venice
you-
had
if you're
the
moving up.
instrument. Yeah. So Venice had the way to cast fly on multiple people. So
Yes. Let me put that in the. Let me get all those charges done. But also, what I would have done beforehand is done inspiring leaders, so that everyone had 14 temporary hit points.
ooh.
cool.
And I'm gonna say this again because I want to make sure that I understand. Once you have cast fly with your instrument,
Yep.
there are no concentration checks that need to be made anymore. You are just flying for 10 minutes, correct?
That's how we have ruled it because of
Okay.
because it's
Just want to make sure.
yeah.
Not that anything's gonna happen, but just to make sure.
So, how many people? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 4, 4. Okay. Let me just nix out one more on each of these. And okay, so everyone has fly. Everyone has 14 temporary hit points. The other thing I was going to do is give, before leaving, everyone would get a bardic inspiration.
Ooh, nice. Even
So-
McKeeson?
Is McKeeson on the wall with us?
I've already moved him up 1,200 feet, but
All
yes.
I will give McKeeson a bardic inspiration then, and
He gives you a high five before he
I'll
flies.
mark off a charge for him to fly as well, I believe.
Yes, please.
Okay, so 5 charges used, and
McKeeson is there to like back you up for charisma checks when it comes to shit. But apart from that, his other real skill set is kind of etiquette and royal lore. Not much more besides that.
so then I'll start heading up the wall.
Okay, so you failed your check, so you can move up 600 feet, which should get you about there. And then, Morak, did you rowl a strength check?
What's it for?
It's so the winds are so strong that if you pass the DC 10 strength check, you can move double your speed. If not, it's treated like difficult terrain, and you can only move at half. Basically, instead of dashing, you can only move regular speed. So
Okay.
you would get 600 feet, which is where Sylvanas is.
Okay. All right. Oh, so we're all flying. We're not. The other people weren't climbing.
Yeah, no, everybody's flying. Everybody's got a fly ticket.
Yeah. No.
All right, so you can move up to right next to Sylvanas. So Sylvanas, oh yeah, you're fine. Yeah. All right, as you move your token up and you're next to Sylvanas, I'd like everybody to give me a survival check, please.
Well, since you asked nicely, no.
Fuck you. Thanks, Kevin. Thanks.
Yeek.
All right, so I got one from Sylvanas, I got one from Nim. There it is. There's Moruck. How about Obscurity? And I'll do one for Keeson. Not so good.
Security
Security,
already
what-
outran the weather.
He's like, you can't touch me, weather! You want to give me a survival check, Dolan? Security, you're moving so fast that you're to notice this. Like I just imagine it's like one of those things when you're driving on like a dark night and it's snowing and it feels like you're going through hyperspace because like the snow is coming at the windshield and like the lights are just doing this. And so with your dark vision through the snow, it's just you're your own starfish. Yeah, you're your own starship. But for Moruck and actually for Nim as well, you start to notice that like along the cliff like flats, the flat faces where like figures or people could sort of transgress and move around, you see that there's some sort of, and I love this, brachiating creature's footprints. And brachiating is a real fancy way of saying two-footed creature, but I love it. And it seems like there are massive footfalls that look humanoid in nature. Like the footfalls have like the classic like heel pad, and then you can see them because they're so big, like 5 toes on them. As you're kind of noticing this, and as others are kind of like dallying behind or not seeing this, Obscurity, you've rocketed so far up that as you get to where you are, which by the way, you can't be where you are right now. You can make 2,400 feet, but the top is 2,500 feet, so you've got like 100 feet or so.
Yeah, I accidentally went off the map and then I couldn't move myself.
Because I'm like, where the fuck? What's the fuck happening? All right. Can I move you? I can't even move
Yeah.
you.
That's what I said. I saw at the end
You
of
ran out the fucking map. I don't think we've ever done this. That's great.
You already met her doom. It's totally obscure.
Oh, there we go. I think Kevin did it. Thank you, Kevin, or whoever did. The gods themselves.
Yeah.
So Obscurity,
Yeah.
You were right
didn't...
both times.
Shut up. Anyways, so Obscurity, as you're like, as you get up there, and you kind of come to the end of like where you were able to move on your first action, you hear this like roar off to your left, and I'm gonna ask you what your AC is, because something's about to happen.
Defense. AC is 18.
Okay. Here we go.
Deflect
That's
missiles.
like, well, so here's the thing. That might be something to consider, but are there rules for what you can deflect? Like, if it's
Shadow step.
like, because
Deflect missiles disappear, and
what's about to happen is, hold on. Okay, so here's what's gonna happen. Coming after you hear this like roar out of the darkness, um, this giant boulder, like a large-sized rock. So I don't know if you have the ability to dodge those. Comes flying out of the darkness at you, and as you kind of like look and you're just like, oh shit, what was that? Or whatever you would say. Another one comes and it's a 19 to hit you, which I think is gonna get you. Um, do you like what are you doing? Like what are you enacting? How are you what are you doing to deal with this?
I would be dodging.
Okay. And so that would a dodge get your AC above the 19?
I don't think so. Hold on. I'm looking for it. Don't know where it is.
I think the dodge will bump you up by 2. So
Does it? If it does, in fact, bump me up by 2, then I would be at an AC of 20.
then you by enacting this are just able, like you just see this thing and maybe you're like, oh, I can catch this one, and as it starts to come you're like, oh, it's way bigger than I thought it was, and you're able to like I'm imagining like as it's soaring through the air towards you, you kind of like roll over, so like your arms are outstretched and you kind of do this tumble as it passes behind you, and you because you're still flying, and this roar in the distance, like because it's upset that it didn't get you, like you hear like what sounds like giant fists just like punching the ground. You also know that you're a move away from getting the F away from these cliffs. So um, you on your next turn, you could just fly away.
Okay. I can't find dodge as a thing. So I don't know if I'm confusing it with another one of my characters. It could have been the rogue. I do have evasion, and it says when you are subjected to an effect that allows you to make a dex saving throw, which this wasn't. I only take half damage, so I don't have anything that can up my AC.
I don't.
So it would have hit me.
The monk doesn't have dodge. When you take the dodge action, you
They
focus
do.
entirely on avoiding attacks.
Do I have
You
dodge?
give them disadvantage on attacks. So everyone has disadvantage against you, and you have advantage on dex saves.
But you, but it's
I
an
would
act,
have
but
to
it's an
take dodge
action.
action, right?
But
Yeah,
it's an
full
action. So
Not
yeah.
a
Or you have patient defense where you can activate it as a bonus action.
Oh, as a monk, right? Yeah. So
Yeah.
And deflect missiles.
Oh yeah,
if
take
it's, you
dodge
know.
action as a bonus action. Okay.
okay,
Yeah.
but because
So-
you used the double dash to get up here, you can't do an action and you can't do another bonus action, right?
Because the double dash was my
It was your move, your
it
action, and
was
your
my bonus action.
Yes.
It was triple
Okay.
dash then?
Yeah,
Change.
yes. That's
Okay,
what got
then,
her
yeah,
the
that's all
the
it is.
2,400 feet.
Yeah.
However, I do want to say that because you have snare missile or no, what is it called? I'm sorry, what is it called?
Deflect missile. Deflect missile or patient defense.
All right, so I just want to look at it real fast. Sorry, deflect missile. Starting at 3rd level, use a reaction to deflect. Use a reaction, and you haven't done that yet. To catch a missile when you are hit by a ranged weapon attack. You do so, the damage you take from the attack is reduced by 1d10 plus your dex modifier and your monk. I'm going to say that you can do this. You can reduce the damage that it's going to do by that. I think you're still going to take damage, but kind of like when Poe starts catching cannonball in Kung Fu Panda, that first couple like bounces around and may like do some damage to you because you don't know how to do it, but for sure you can try to reduce the damage coming to you. However, I got to look up at what the damage is, so hold on. Yeah, so I'm gonna roll it in game for you because it. Um, okay, so it's 25 points of damage from this large rock hurling you. You're able to reduce that um, to 3 points of damage, which is insane. Like you, like
Oh
again, I
man.
just think it's you're basically like poeing that first cannonball where you're like, oh, ow, ooh, ow, oh, and like you can't hold on to it and it runs out of your hands. But way to do this. That's
I
awesome.
would have liked for you to have caught, like, have it hit you and you rolled enough where like it
You
doesn't
could throw it
actually
back.
hurt you. Yeah, and then you just push off and then like kick it back.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure what you were gonna roll because I was doing the math to try to get, or I was trying to like get all the things clicked to roll it. But I rolled the 25, and I'm like, oh man, and then I saw the 22. Wow, that was so close. But but yeah, so it comes in at you, and you kind of like just do this, like I'm just imagining like this maneuver where you kind of like water bend your way around it, and then it's just like maybe it's just a little too rough for your hands to dig in and hold to whip back, and so it leaves, but it only does you 3 points of damage as it maybe like roughs up like your skin where it like sort of creates an abrasion on it, but that's it. That's pretty fucking awesome. um all right, it goes back to you guys. What are you doing? Because well, first things first, everybody roll a strength check, DC 10 strength check.
Yikes.
So Venice passes this one.
Hey,
Remember that everybody. So Venice gave everybody inspiration if you need it.
correct. But you can wait
Is
to
this
use
where
that.
I use it?
When did he give us inspiration?
I gave
Before you guys took off this morning.
yeah,
Oh, right.
before
Okay.
you left the
D10,
ground.
D8.
I
What
think
D8.
it
is it
was
at this point?
D8.
Yeah, I made
All
it.
right, so Nim is a pass. Obscure, obscurity, yeah. Whoa, she used something else. Okay, pass. Moruk. Moruk passes. McKeeson passes. So, obscurity, I think I'm going to start with you on this. Are you hanging around, or are you just like, fuck this, and I'm over the top of the cliffs, I'm out?
No. I'm definitely watching them. Like I still want to be in line of sight. So I'm probably not. I'm not going as far. I'm waiting for them to catch up, and then I'll.
Okay. All right. So let's do this. Let's say you have the opportunity um to make maneuvers as you see fit, as whatever happens is going to happen next. So
Yeah, and I would probably like if I see something that seems like hazardous or treacherous. That's kind of why I'm in the front. So to give them a heads up.
okay. All right. So Nim, I think if you I'm just gonna, if you want to grab McKeeson and move them with you, um actually I should probably make it so that that's something that can happen. Okay, who controls McKeeson? Controlled by all players. Okay, yeah. So if you want to grab McKeeson, he passed his strength check as well, so he's going to move with you. And then everybody else that moved, move where you're going to be, and then we will determine what happens next.
Oh, can I make it, what, 1,200 feet?
You pass, right?
Yeah.
Then yes.
All right.
All right. Has everybody moved to where they need to be?
Almost. I need to just make it up another 100. There we go. Okay.
Okay. So everybody is there. I want everybody to roll me a d20, just one d20. All right. So the lowest rolled was Sylvanus, and the
Yep.
highest rolled was Moruk. Obscurity, I'm not counting yours for a reason, because I'm giving you some movement with this. Effectively, what's happening right now is that there are 2 giant apes on this cliff face throwing
Always
boulders
with
at you
the
guys.
8.
I read like when I read what was on here, I was like, how do we never get away from giant apes? Like it's just, I mean it's fun, but it's also like what the f.
Fucking Donkey Kong, man.
I do want to do this because they did like I am happy about the art that they provided. I do think that that's a fun giant ape.
That's
That
pretty good. That's
yeah.
the best art that I've seen so far in here.
Yeah, so like
I
in
feel
fact,
A
like.
if
little
we
bit.
want to import this into some of our other games, I'm happy to share that file and get that where it needs to be. But there are 2 giant apes here. You guys are flying. There is no way I'm assuming that you're going to want to engage with these creatures because several of us know what they are. However, they do have the ability to hurl rocks, and in this moment, they're being given the chance to hurl multiple rocks. So the person who rolled the lowest, Sylvanus, are going to have 2 rocks flying at you. The person who rolled the highest, Moruk, are going to have 2 rocks flying at you. Um, the thing that I will say is that Moruk, both rocks are going to have disadvantage because it is out of the giant ape's range that is throwing at them. And then obscurity, you have the option to maybe intervene because you have enough movement to get there and maybe try to deflect a missile or something if you so choose. Totally up to you. But I think that with your build and what's going on right now, I want to and you passed your check, so I want to give you the sort of autonomy to do what you will. So the 2 that are coming at Sylvanus, okay. So
I would like to attempt to deflect anyone that I can.
okay, well let's see what happens first.
Yep.
So the 2 that are coming at Sylvanus, Sylvanus does a 16 hit you.
Let me take a look. That would be a yes. It would hit me.
Okay, so the second one is going to hit you too. So there are 2 of these boulders that are going to crash into you. And then coming at Moruk, disadvantage. Moruk does a 16 hit you.
No, I'll shield.
Okay, so and the second one, rolling with disadvantage was a natural 1. So you're going to be okay. Obscurity, there are 2 missiles coming at Sylvanus, and if you want to interact to try to deflect one of them, I'm going to say that you can do that. So I can't believe disadvantage on the first one. I rolled a 7 and a 6 against Mark. On the second one, I rolled a 1 and a 2. So good job. But Sylvanus, I'm gonna roll 2 things of damage, and then obscurity. You can choose to say no to them, or to try to deflect one if you want. Just want to make sure I've got this right. It is 76. So boom, boom. Okay, here we go. First one is going to be a 39.
Damn.
Second one is a 29. You can choose if you want to try to deflect one of these. Otherwise,
Yes,
all right. Otherwise, Sylvanus is about to take a shit ton of damage.
oh. That's Ugh, it didn't do much. 16.
All right, which one are you trying to deflect?
I did. What does it matter?
Well, I mean, you're reducing the amount of you're going to deflect, but the amount of damage you take is going to be reduced. So either you could reduce the 39 by 16, or you could reduce the 29 by 16.
So no.
Reduce to 29 by 16.
Okay. So Venice, you take 39 points of damage. Does that knock you out of the sky?
I got it. Okay, I understand what you're asking me now.
I guess it did.
Just he's out.
He's falling right now.
Yeah, I
We
mean,
can't hear him.
So
Sorry, I was
Dennis, can
muted.
you check in with us, buddy?
Yeah, sorry. I'm down to 41 hit
Okay,
points.
but 39 doesn't take you out.
No, the combination, if I didn't have the temporary hit points, and that hadn't been deflected, I would have died.
Okay.
So, luckily.
Also, remember obscurity that you have temporary hit points. You have 14 temporary hit points. So 29 minus 16 is 13. And you would have, if you haven't already tapped into them, you could still have one temporary hit point left.
wait a minute. The 29 was coming at me, and the 39 was going towards
No,
Sylvanas?
both of those were coming at me.
Right. Okay. Okay.
Your option was to try and deflect one, to move
Which
over
means
and
you
deflect.
stepped in front of it and took part of the damage.
Got it.
Yeah. So thank you. I appreciate that.
And so, and just to be clear, you can now say bye everybody and take off with the movement you have left to get over the top of the cliffs and away from these giant apes if you want.
Me or anybody?
No.
Obscurity.
Obscurity is the only one who hasn't moved. She could have said bye at the start of this and left you guys to whatever. So I'm just asking Obscurity what she would like to do.
No, I'm good where I'm at. I mean, because we still don't have everybody, so.
I'm going to say that you make it down, deflect the missile, and then maybe make it back to where you're at. You would still have some movement if that's cool. Fine with that.
Yeah, I'm good with staying there.
Okay.
And I'm confirming that I'm also taking 13 points of damage, correct?
Well, did you use up your temporary hit?
No, I'm just confirming though that I am taking 13. I'll take
Yes.
out of the temp. Okay.
Yes. Okay. And so, we've got one last round, I think, to try to get everybody out of here. Pretty close to it. So everybody roll a strength check. Obscurity, you're golden. So Venice, you're great. Nim is good. I gotta roll a d20, and we need one for Moruck too.
Not golden. These fucking 9s, yo.
Well,
What the fuck?
Obscurity, why? Wait, what are you doing? You rolled a. Oh, this was the fucking deflect missile. Jesus Christ, sorry. I saw it and I was like, oh, you're good. You're all set. Should have been like, you're right, Tom. I'm not gonna roll another dice.
Right? No, I didn't want to.
But I appreciate the honesty. I do appreciate the honesty. However, so Venice, is it possible for you to give, well, Moruck's pretty fucked either way, but is it possible for you to give Obscurity the chance? Well, Obscurity,
I
do you
have
really need
one.
it?
Actually, I can do two things. So what I can do is I can cast enhance ability on Moruck because we're right next to each other.
Mm-hmm.
And so that would allow, let me just do this here. I'm going to display it here, and he's going to get Bull's strength. So he's going to have advantage on strength checks.
Oh, all right. Moruck, do you
then,
accept this, or do you slap his hand away when he comes towards you?
Don't touch me.
think I am? A half orc?
Who do you think you are? I am.
And then the other thing, I still have one more bardic inspiration.
I mean,
So
maybe
the
give it to
question is,
Moruk so he could make the
yeah,
pass.
all right.
Because obscurity with a
I
dash is
haven't
already moving double anyways. So
I haven't used my original one yet.
Oh, you
Oh,
haven't used the
okay.
original. Okay.
What's
And
what's it, a D6?
D8.
Maybe give him another one.
All right. You got one more. That's the final bardic inspiration I have. So Jesus.
Jesus
Wow.
Christ.
I,
Obscurity, just go and
you,
grab Moruk and fly him up. Just
you
drag him through the sky.
have a guidance. Is there a guidance we can provide?
Aren't we like right there?
Well,
So like my speed is halved, but I still make it there.
So
Okay.
let's just do it on the map. Is it no? Because 600 feet. So you're gonna make it to the edge. You can't get like Savennis is there. You're just lagging behind just that little bit more.
Well,
So
hey, with my strength check, could I just tie a rope around and like drag him up the rest of the way?
so here's what we're gonna talk about. You did an action and fell on him. You're moving, and I don't think you could do that as a bonus action.
Okay.
However, obscurity has been like patiently, almost like some sort of sentinel, waiting for everyone to get up here so she doesn't lose any
just
more
gave you a feat.
goddamn people in this war. And Nim and McKeeson, you guys make it. You're like boop, you're over the top, all done. So Venice and Moruk come up, and there's going to be 2 missiles thrown. So I need the 3 people who are still here, which is Obscurity, Savennis, and Moruk. Whoever rolls the lowest, that's who these missiles are coming at. Roll a
Is
d20.
what a D20. Oh God.
Oh shit! It's a tie. So there's 2 rocks. So one of the rocks is going to come in Obscurity, and one of the rocks is going to come at Moruk. So the first one is an 18, and that one's coming at the first person who rolled was Moruk. So there's an 18 coming at Moruk. Moruk, do you have a way of shielding and getting past that or doing something?
How much was it?
An 18 total.
Yeah, what are these doing? Like 25 damage? Yeah, I'll shield.
And the shield gets you above, so it's going to be a miss?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. And then the one, I mean, the goddamn shield spell is amazing. Like, it's just really good.
Yes.
But the second rock that's coming at Obscurity, this is going to be a 24 to hit you. I don't think patient defense is going to help. So
That hits.
you're going to have to do your reaction. This means
Oh.
that you wouldn't be able to go and help. But let's see.
Oh, really?
Well, he already dodged. It's good, and like
Okay.
you guys are fine. And like the next round, you're out, but you're gonna reduce this by 15, and it's 30 points of damage. So you reduce it by 15, and you take 15 points of damage. Are you still alive?
Yes, very much so.
Okay, awesome. Because you guys have made it to the top of the Glasskeeled Cliffs. Which means
I feel like I just gave away the whole house.
What is this? Come on. Boom. Boom. And boom. You guys are up here. Castle Timor, or Lady Timor's castle, which is known as Castle Timor, is just is a mere 2-mile walk from the top of the Glasskeeled Cliffs. An easy walk on foot. As you
Yep,
approach,
hopefully.
it consists of a cluster of over a dozen towers surrounded by moats and connected by bridges, rooftop ledges that are patrolled by mages who are all trained for war. The castle of Lady Timor is easily the most magically gifted area and space in all of Daisen. Lady Timor styles herself as a young archmage and lives in a tower of her own. She You guys see that there's like how do you want to approach the tower? Do you want to do the same thing you did in Dashkaban, or like, I mean, you guys are flying. What do you want to do?
Right. We're flying. So we're flying.
Okay, give me a perception check.
$21.
21. Obscurity, a good roll as well. Nim, a great roll. You guys see that sort of like centrally based, but slightly to the eastern side of this compound is one tower that appears, Savenus as well. Um, there is one tower that has this, it's some like 50 or 60 feet in the air, but this sort of uh, balcony that comes out almost like a bay window would, but it's got crenellations and railings on the side. And it's got this large kind of domed or half domed opening that leads in, and everybody sees it. Everybody who's rolled sees it, but Nim, you're able to see that what makes it very interesting is that like the snows that are continuing to fall up here, uh, they seem to be parting and not landing on anything, almost as if there's some sort of like magical barrier that's preventing them from from arriving on that level.
Hmm. Interesting. Well,
Okay.
I still want to head towards it.
It is very much an area that's big enough that would support and allow all of you to like fly and land on it if you so choose.
Do it.
Yeah. That's the plan. I think we so choose.
Okay, so you guys fly and land, and as you come to land on this sort of like cobblestoned area, a couple things immediately you become aware of. The first is that the sounds of the winds and everything that's been around you falls away. And the second is, for the first time in, I don't know, the last 15 minutes or so, if not more, because of waking up this morning, it's not cold. Like, it feels like you just walked into a department store and went through like when the doors open and the heat's blowing on you, but it's not brutal. It's just sort of like, and it's like a nice like 75 degrees in here. And as you guys kind of like land there, uh, um, Lady Timor herself, memory's sake for this, comes out, and she's sort of surrounded by this group of what clearly look like, from what you've seen in Sequen, um, like mages, like sort of like assault mages, as opposed to like any other caster. And she says, "It would appear that I have visitors on my balcony that I have not invited. Yet I kind of knew you were coming because I've been watching and hearing that there was a group of heroes that were indeed looking to do something. So rather than make this offensive, let's make this friendly. I would like to offer you to come in and have tea. Would you be so inclined? And also, those of you hurt, would you like me to help that?"
Yes, thank you.
I think there may be a request for hot chocolate coming, but yes, I think we're on board.
Yes.
There is a little part of me that wants to make her turn into oh
A
shit.
cup of hot
Who was
chocolate.
who was the elven woman that wanted power rings at one point that Bilbo talked
Galadriel?
about, that Frodo talks to?
Galadriel?
Florian, the
Eladriel? No.
Galadriel.
Galadriel.
Galadriel. When you're like, we also want hot chocolate, and she's like, I am both wicked and awesome. You're like, oh
Yeah.
shit. But at the same rate, she's just like, no, we can accommodate the tastes of other than.
Is she AI?
She's nothing but AI. Boop boop beep. But anyways, she
AI is fucking invading our fantasies now. What the hell?
she is AI in the sense of like, she is literally a cyborg that's gonna murder you in your sleep. But don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. It's all fantasy. But no, she like invites you in. And like she has clerics that come and administer to the wounds that you guys have suffered on the Glasskull Cliffs. And she says, "It looks. I'm assuming that you must have traveled up and encountered some of the creatures on the cliffs. It was a bold path to take, but dangerous nonetheless, which all the more makes it seem like you must have an important reason to be here. So please, as like tea and hot cocoa and other things are poured, please tell me why you've arrived."
Well, Regesia is using the the king and deceiving the country, and they are planning to attack. Meanwhile, Bresk moves upon Gallows Fend with false claims of treachery or treason, both.
Treacherous
Both, like.
treason.
Right? The worst kind.
She's like, the double T. I've heard these rumors indeed. I would like to review the proof that you bring, and I assume that you share and show her all of the things.
Would I be able to try and persuade her with the information?
I would say that you could, but I think that she like it's going to be weird. Like, how would you? You know what? Yes, go ahead, do it. Just describe how you do it.
Make it awkward.
Just make it fucking wicked awkward, and then it's not going to work. I mean, that's a 20. That's really that.
It was an 18. It just. Oh no, yeah, it was a 20. Never mind. Sorry, double P.
Everyone's shooting themselves in the foot tonight. I'm like, that was really good. No, I didn't. Oh, I did.
No shit.
So
the Steppengard has been deceived by Regesia and is marching on under the false pretense that others, such as Gallo, were the ones responsible for his family's demise, when in fact all evidence seemingly points to Regesia influencing this and having a hand in this matter. We are trying to protect Gallo and protect the entire kingdom of Dason from the oncoming invasion of Regesia. And to do so, we are looking for allies to help in the defense of Gallo, and therefore the defense of Dason as a whole.
I almost was thinking you were going to say, and therefore, of course, the wild.
The wild.
Yeah. We are looking to defend
he's not only
Gallo,
marching under
and therefore,
false
of course.
pretenses, he's marching under madness as well. He's lost his fucking shitbox.
She goes, shitbox. What a colloquial term. What do you mean?
I'm telling Sylvanas that in sign language.
Oh, okay. And I just imagine you're making like
You
a circle with
translate
one
this
hand
for me.
and then poking
Yep.
it with the other hand. You're just like boop 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 boop. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
a great
the
We
great
definitely have a
shitbox.
sign
Well,
for shitbox. All right, let's not
I made
question
someone
that.
up. We have one for
We
sure.
definitely
That was like one of
already
my first
have.
ones I taught you.
Right. That's
Not
why we
stop.
started
Wait,
signing.
not stop
Because
or
she kept
move.
saying
Total
shitbox
shitbox.
all the time.
Which is shitbox.
And that's like, okay, maybe you should just like not say that. And she's like, well, I'm gonna at least tell you that. And it's like, fine, tell me, but just do it like quietly. It's like, I'll do it with my hands. And it's like, I don't know if that's better, but
My favorite part
fine.
of today is the fact that your party has determined what the hand signal for shitbox is. I'm not challenging it. Obviously, you have done this. Yes, that's fine. It's just I love
Right.
it. That's great.
So the king.
So the shitbox,
Hold on,
formerly known as.
King Sebengard has been taken by a psychosis of a great magnitude that has driven him mad due to the loss of his family. But these are actions that we believe have been taken by Regesia to weaken the resolve of the kingdoms of Dason by driving them against one another.
You see as you finish, she, like, rather than respond directly to you, she takes the time to review the documentation. Like, as opposed to Dashkaban, who, like, as you spoke the words and showed the rites of passage and whatnot, who was like immediately on board. She's almost like sitting in a lawyer's office, is like reading and going over and then going back to review. And after a short while, she kind of pushes the papers aside and then kind of like casts a gaze towards each of you, like looking at each of you, taking in. And she says, I think before I do anything, I would like to ask you, heroes, a few questions.
Here we go.
Easy.
Yes, you can have our autograph.
It's interesting that you would say that. No, that's not what my question was. I understand that what is my northeastern border, which is where my edge of the Thornwood meets with the Tunda Mountains and leads into Fire Forest, that forest is no longer burning. Is that something maybe you could cast some information or light even on?
Question
Yes.
for the yeah, we can, but question for the DM was Tamora the one that we found the guards of?
She is not. No, that
Okay.
was Lady Namin. But what I will say for recognition's sake, when you were in Bresk, Dashkaban and Timor were friendly to begin with. They were they were on board with supporting Sequin and whatnot.
All right. I guess do we want to I try to do some sort of odd sign, like do we want to elaborate on the Fire Forest incident?
You do the shitbox sign again?
The
Love it.
shitbox sign.
Yeah,
the
that
shitbox
whole
would be not appropriate right now. I don't know what
Sorry,
you're
you know what? This is what I
yeah,
signed up for
just
tonight.
you can't just shitbox
all the
all
time,
willy nilly.
everything. Fuck.
Not everything's a shitbox, then nothing's a shitbox.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, if everything's a shitbox, it's not a shitbox. Yeah,
We're
that's
really
good.
I don't know. It feels like everything we touch has become a
Great.
shitbox late.
Okay,
That's
sorry.
not untrue.
Yeah, I mean, I technically Obscurity Gloom was not there. but obscurity is all for hearing the story of the fire forest.
Tell me more about the deaths you've caused, please, or saved.
Well, at least you have an awesome wooden sword to show for it. Wait a minute, where is that sword?
Oh shit, that's not with it. Ah, no. Yeah.
The sacrifice of I don't remember. So no one's here. Anyway,
Not that Dylan still feels really bitter about all of this. Yeah, no, it's fine. It's fine. I love the fact that, like, at one point Dylan messaged me and she was like, "I want you to know I have been leveling my character up every level.
Yeah.
She has powers now. I'm just telling you." I was like, "Everybody breathe. Everybody fucking breathe. Just saying. Everybody breathe."
Okay, so I guess what I would do is I would try to spin a sort of bardic song and tale of the fire forest incident.
Okay. You know what? Give me a performance check, and that way you don't have to like do the whole thing. Just give me.
Oh,
Okay. Wait. No. A 12. A 12 is not terrible. I mean, it's not a 30, but it's also not a 1. So, in your bardic performance, you spin the tale of the actualities, right? Like, so maybe you don't leave out any negativities or like things that could have gone better or whatever, but
yep.
you tell the tale. And as you do that, she watches you. And then she kind of gets up from the table and she walks out to that sort of magically heated and prevented balcony. And she says, "For those of you who are healed up enough and are comfortable, please come out. I would like to show you something." And so, does anybody get up to go and see, or do you just be like, "No!" Like?
Yeah.
Well, have we healed now by being there?
Yeah. Clerics came, and the term cleric just makes me think clerk, and I just imagine there's somebody like just punching time cards, being like, "No, you're not going to die." But yes, everybody has been healed up. Everybody's okay. You're okay at this point.
All right, but yeah, just health points, correct?
Yeah. Nothing beyond that. However, you should not have any more anxiety. You have rested several times, so you should be okay.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
I'm. That's not my concern. I have other concerns on the bardic matters.
Okay. All right. Yeah. No. So no, she's invited you out to the balcony, and I like to think that
Yep.
maybe like a light snow has started, and as you stand there next to her and you look up, you see that it's this almost transparent barrier that seems to just stop the weather. So as like the snow falls, the snow either diverts and falls around or maybe hits, and then like rivulets of rain just kind of like run down and slide off the side of it. And Lady Timor says, "My responsibility is to the lands of Timor, as it has been for my family for generations. My lands stretch from the cliffs that you just summited to the Hetcom Mountains, to where they meet the Tunda Mountains, and where the Thornwood crosses to meet them, divided only by the Churnet River. My people are of most importance to me. Dassin has had many rulers. Dassin has had many civil wars. Dassin has claimed more from me than most. But I love my country, and I love my people, and I love everyone, from the weird little fey creatures that live in my aspect of the form, to the mages that I try to train and grow and develop here in my castle. And I am happy to help defend Dassin against any threat. But your actions in the fire forest, though not done through negativity towards Dassin or myself, have literally left me and my people and my weird little fey creatures exposed. Because if if I have read what you have provided me, but if the Regessians are to march, once they crush Gate Pass, if they do, they will now find no resistance in the Fire Forest, and I am left completely open in an aspect that I've never had to defend before. I need you to recognize that your actions, although noble in nature, and I do not mark you negatively for it, have done nothing but jeopardize my people and the people that I have sworn to protect. You come to me telling me that not only are my people, because of your actions, in danger, but all of Dassen, because of the swarm that is coming from Regessia. Your bard speaks with honeyed words, but they are words that ring true nonetheless. And I feel that you are in the right. And though you have potentially caused great pain and suffering to my people, what you are seeking is the right course of action. And so, therefore, I commit to you to go back to Gallo and to inform him that I will commit to his forces against what Steppengard surely is starting to push up the Nasham River. No less than a division of 50 mages, an escort of 800 foot soldiers, 200 cavalry, and one particularly precious ally that I have. They are an elemental. They are someone that you should know can be counted on, and they will be there on Gallows Fend. It will take me 4 days to get them ready and rally them to march and to arrive at Gallows Fend. Obscurity, perception for something?
Nope.
Oh, just clicking buttons? All right, cool. I was like, I don't know, what are you doing? But she says, you have traveled here through jeopardy, both your own and for these lands. And as such, I assume your next movement is to try and get back to Gallows Fend as possible. If you so wish, I can only assume the way that you arrived here via magic is starting to burn out. And I can ensure that you all have access to that same fly spell to get down the cliffs and back towards Gallows Fend, if you so request.
If it can be done, then yeah, I think we're gonna take you up on that.
Okay. So, you guys have garnered the favor of Lady Timor. She is a bit perturbed with you because you've basically left the ass end of Dason and her lands open by your actions, but also she respects what
all
you've
the
done
more
thus far.
reason to take care of the Regessians now.
Well, no, for sure, but
Beef up
the
borders.
The issue is, if there is,
I know.
this is one thing, but
Yeah, there's multiple borders. Well, when it was being presented as a song, all I could think of is she's not gonna like this.
well, it was a decent song. It wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible. Like if you had rolled a 5 or this is not going.
Rolled a 3.
I'm sorry.
Plus
total.
9.
Plus 9. I'm sorry. Total.
So he can't.
1 plus 3 would have been a 4.
He did good at it.
He did okay. He did okay. He did okay.
Right.
But also, as a fun little tidbit, everybody who has been part of this so far has been awarded with inspiration. So mark off that you have an inspiration for getting this shit done.
Woo!
Now, it took a couple minutes to get up there, have this conversation, turn around, go back down, and then basically from here to here, you guys can make it back at the end of this day. So 1, 2, 3, 5, 6. You're going to make it back to Gallows Fend at the end of day 7.
Oh, have we rested now?
You have not rested right now, no.
Oh, okay.
Because this was the start of day 7.
Okay.
When you made it up.
Got it.
You guys, if you want to, you could rest here, which might be something that is of interest to Moruk because it is a magical learning center. But if you want to report back to Gallows Fend and let them know what's going on, etc., etc., it's up to you guys. What do you want to do?
Stay on mission.
Yep, stay on mission.
Yeah, Gallows Fend. And then I don't know if there's anything we need to do if we want to try and maybe fly a little bit along the lake and just see how that's going. Not too crazy, not out of the way. More of just kind of float that way to sea. And then
do you
go
mean
from
as
there.
far as like seeing where Steppengard is currently and his forces are?
Yeah, and the fires, and if anything started with that.
I will tell you that you could do that, but you probably feel like the sort of network of information that Gallo has going right now, he could inform you back at the
Okay.
Fend itself. So like if you want to do it, you definitely can. If you want,
Nah,
the
if
other
we
thing-
have the information, I don't care where it comes from.
Okay. The other thing that the game definitely wants to put out there is, so as you guys were traveling up the National River to get to Gallows Fend, as you were escaping Steppengard and Bresk and all of that, one of the ideas that you had was like, could burn the river, could do ever, and you guys have kind of discovered a mechanism to do that, which with the pitchlings. Is there anything else that you guys want to think about as you're traveling back to Gallows Fend to maybe that could harry or intermene or slow down Steppengard? This is a moment where there's some very sort of out of the box thinking, and if there's anything that anybody wants to kind of put forward, we can kind of discover or discuss and go from there. And if there isn't, that's fine too. Can keep moving it along. But you guys are a very creative party, and I don't want to deny you that ability if you have an idea.
Yeah, let's figure out how to cure the madness.
I feel like if that was going to be anything, that would be more with the Time War mages sort of thing.
Agreed.
But yeah, I mean, so if that's something that we could have told her, just to be like, hey, all those mages, can we just be prepared to have anyone who can cast some healing be aware when they get there and when everything's going on, just to hopefully make things not as bad.
So I think that maybe something to think about. So you guys present this to Lady Timor before you take off, and this idea that people are being I'm assuming here, but tell me if I'm wrong, that people are being like mentally manipulated somehow, right? Um, and that even when you guys had cast, um, remind me, what had you cast? I'm sorry to break it. It
Dispel
was like
magic?
it was dispel, and then didn't you use something else as well? Just dispel.
I think it was Dispel Magic, maybe Counter Charm, but I think it was Dispel.
Okay, I
Yeah, it
think
was
that you used
dispel
something else as
magic
well, but
because we were gonna do something else,
Yeah.
but
it was
when
you definitely used dispel magic. I thought maybe it's card, but anyways, you kind of like you present this to Lady Timor and her council, and she's just like, what could what could resist this and then immediately change it back? Like, I mean, most creatures of magic have maybe some resistance to things, but not once they're thwarted to immediately put them back in place with the immediacy that you're describing. Um, have you encountered in your adventures so far something that could be like this, that could do this?
have we? I don't even.
I, I don't pay attention to what we're doing unless I'm killing. That's all I do. Um,
Exactly.
I think that if anybody wants to make a history check, um, and I would let specifically, I think at this point, Moruck make it with advantage.
Oh, I think so. Yeah, I know what it is.
Oh Jesus! Oh, obscure. No, that's a perception check. I'm sorry. I just looked at obscurity. I'm like, you weren't even part of this. What are you doing? But yeah. So Svenus with 13. Okay. You're scratching your brain a little bit. I mean, unless somebody just wants to say it. If you just want to say it instead of check you, oh
Yeah, I'd
shit,
like
yeah,
to solve the
yeah,
puzzle.
yeah. Mo crushes it. Moruck's just like I have. Um,
At the
you
same
guys have
time, we're
been
both just gonna say that it was those little spirits that he talked about.
the Trilith, and the Trilith. You guys have encountered both as well. Little Spirit, I think, is an underscore because remember that it was a Trilith that was trapped at the bottom of the lake, skewered by, the super nice wooden sword, that lived for an eternity, for 40 years, burning the fire forest, the Inundodar. So these are beings of some like immense power, and you guys, Moruck specifically, has now seen you guys interacting with at least, to his recollection, three of them. When you guys fled Gate Pass, there was a knight who exuded some sort of like darkness that Moruck noticed. When you guys were in the Inundodar forest, not only was um oh shit, what was the guy's name? It was it wasn't obscurity because that's obscurity, but it was, I forget what the guy that was on fire that was at the bottom of the lake that had the wooden sword pierced through him. But there was that guy, and then there was also another one that was trying to control the Fae that lived in the fire forest. That you guys basically, like, when you released or dispatched the guy caught at the bottom of the lake, he was like, "Oh shit, this isn't working anymore," and he just took off. So the that may be something to talk about.
Yeah, was there a guy in the spirit? Or it was.
Yeah, they have names. They usually have like um shit. I gotta go back and look. Hold on. They usually have like these names that are of shelter from the storm. No, it was Poop. I've been deleting them so this game doesn't take up so much space. WotBS Indomitable, Fire Forest. Okay, so the creature at the bottom of the lake in the Fire Forest was known as Indomitable, and then the other creature was known as Tragedy. And Tragedy was I don't know if you guys ever figured it out, but that was the creature that was manipulating the the sort of elven people, like whatever, that were in the fire in Dodot. So
And then the Indomitable was the guy at the
Indomitable was the
bottom.
monster that was there, yes. And those monsters are called the Trilith. And Morak, if you're up to it, or if you want to, you could share that. I mean, 100% you remember all of this, and you could share it.
Yes, I'll share it.
Okay.
It.
All right. So, as you mention the Trilith, like it kind of seems to fall on deaf ears to the council around you, but Lady Tamor like kind of like makes everybody stop from. She goes, the Trilith. I feel like there's something like on the tip of my memory about this. I need to dig in more, to research more, to do more, but let me see what I can. This seems like some sort of ancient race or magic that is a part of these lands, but I cannot remember. Um, I tell you what, rest, please, rest here tonight, or leave. I mean, whatever your path takes. But I commit to Gallows' cause. I commit to supporting him versus the now. I don't know how to describe them. They're not tyrannical. They're just misled forces of Steppengard. But I also think that this is the beginning of a mystery that needs to be resolved and unwound, because it just seems to wrap layers upon layers, and I will do what I can. And so you guys can either immediately depart back to Gallows Fen right now, or you can rest. However, just know that you've left your horses at the bottom of a series of cliffs for more than 8 hours at this point.
Well, that's only if we stop and rest
here
and stay. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. What are you guys thinking? I'm thinking, like we were saying, stay on point. As much as I'd like to stay here and discuss anything, and obviously, Mora could probably be like, I'm down for staying.
Love this place.
Learning some more.
Do whatever the majority.
Yeah, I think we're all of the idea of let's head back.
Okay, so I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to fast forward your travel back, right? We're not going to do overnights. I want you guys to continue everything like that, and I'm going to say that you guys get back to Gallows Fen on somewhere around day 8, right? Like either maybe you have the night's rest, whatever it is, but you guys are fully rested. You have everything back, and day 8 was supposed to be the day that Steppengard's forces would arrive just outside Gallows Fen. And because of all of your actions, they're not here yet. So first I'm going to grab your token and put you back here. And you guys now have, based on my calculations, 4 days before Stepping Guard's forces arrive, based on your actions and interactions, and also several sort of like off-screen things that are happening based on those things. And so I'm going to say that at this point, just for like a reference point, Stepping Guard's forces have made it maybe to like just outside the Pitchwood, which means like their next day they're going to have to deal with the Pitchlings, and that's going to take some time. So everybody has 4 days of downtime. And I think that rather than sit here and say, what are you guys doing? Tell me about it, describe it. Your downtime activities is going to be your homework assignment for this week. And what I think is going to be way more fun to talk about are the war plans. And so let's dive into them. As you guys return to Gallows Fen, the armies of King Steppengard are not currently there yet. They are trying to be there. They are effectively several days. Regardless, most of the villagers. I'm not going to bring you guys to that map that I showed you originally of Gallows Fen. I want to keep this kind of. I want to keep this for realism's sake. I want to bring it back later. But most of the villagers that were in the Authoril Vale have abandoned their homes, retreating to tent cities that are set up behind or between Markhold and Wicked Hill. Duke Gallo welcomes any nude, yeah, he you know what? He welcomes any nude. He's a dude that loves news. What it is. Any news that aid is on his way. And as you guys come back to let him know, Dashkaban and Timor are going to be providing that, he is ecstatic. He greatly thanks everybody for the assistance that they have lent, and he promises that should his forces survive, that he will lend them in defense of Sequin against the Regessians as payment for your honorable behavior and actions. But in order for that to happen, there is still a battle to be won. And Gallo says, you could leave now, but if I lose, it means nothing. Instead, he suggests that you should fight alongside his force if you so choose. You can choose not to, but if you so choose, and with those of the forces of Dashkaban and Timor. Gallo is the ruler of his lands, and while he'll consider suggestions about anything by the heroes, he has a battle plan drawn up, and what he would like to do is offer you, the heroes, several choices about what he and his allies that serve with him can provide in the coming battles. I think.
Yeah.
So all right. So here we go. All right. Steppengard's army, which, as far as you know, is led by Steppengard himself at this point, is commanded by the Königsmarschall Malkin, who is under the supervision of the advisor, Nina Glibglammer. That's a weird lady with a weird hair that you saw way back in Court and Bresk. There's also the war wizard, Kelkin Threvvrenvost, who was trained in Gabal, which is the Mage War College way back in Gate Pass that you guys started in, who is directing the army's magical forces. King Steppengard himself appears to be leading this army. And the army commands roughly 10,000 soldiers, drawn from the lands of Steppengard, Iz, Megadon, and Nimin. He also fields a variety of monstrous mercenaries. The Steppengard army will be when it arrives. Again, we're talking kind of future state because you guys have got back with enough downtime because of previous actions that you can set things up if you want. But when they arrive, the Steppengard army will be camped behind what's known as Neville Hill. That provides them various lookouts watching from Malkin, who is the basically marshal of forces. His command tent lies near the center of this camp, and not far away is the tent of Nina Glibglammer. A representative of each of the three assisting nobles, Iz, Megadon, and Nimin, have their own kind of like area where they control their peoples. The war mage Kelkin, or Threvenos, likes his isolation, so his tent is at the edge of the main camp, somewhere near the woods. Malcolm was only able to convince the mage to have a small guards, which worries the marshal because Kelkin's presence is critical to maintaining the allegiance of some of the when you guys were traveling through Dason to get to Sequin, does anybody remember seeing, because I can't remember which path you took, and I should have had a note about this, but I don't have it in front of me. Does anybody remember seeing a dwarf on top of a sphinx, or no?
A dwarf on top of what?
A sphinx.
I don't recall that.
Okay.
When we were
So that
traveling,
would have been
where to?
When you guys left, I think that there were several events that could have happened when you guys left the fire forest and you got down to here, and basically your options were to like go this way and then like this way, or your options were to go this way, this way, this way, and this way. And I think that's the way you went, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. And so with that, you guys did not see that, but that was something that you may have seen, but I could not remember until we just discussed it. So, just know that Kelkin, the sort of like the lead or lord mage that is part of Steppengard's forces, controls monsters. That's a thing. Gallo himself will control 10,000 soldiers spread throughout Gallo's Fend, many of them stationed in the hidden forts on Wicked Hill or in other bunkers. If they, because you have earned the aid of both Lord Dashkaban, because you've earned the aid of Lord Dashkaban, Gallo is bolstered by 1,000 cavalry and 2,000 infantry. Because you've also garnered the aid of Lady Timor, she is sending 50 war mages, 800 infantry, and 200 cavalry, plus an Elder Zorn, Xorn, whose name is Tupov Dzequifs.
Tupov to Shakur.
Yeah. Tupov Dzequifs. Yep, that's his name.
Just beware of notorious, BIG. Right?
Yeah, for sure. So, Gallo does have a variety of siege weapons in place, allowing him to control distance at which battle begins. His plan is to strand Steppengard's lines out in the fields of the Authoril Vale, where they will be vulnerable to mass archery from Gallo's reserve units. He also intends to keep only a minimal number of troops behind in the city, choosing instead to deploy the majority of his forces along the lines stretching roughly a mile just south of. just so that he can both easily swap units and make sure for a swift victory. Yeah, a Villy, a swift Villy.
So swift, you can't even say the whole thing.
It's a swift Vic, swift Vitty, Vitali. Yeah, exactly. However, while the focus of Gallo's plans are to hold the line of the Authoril Vale, there are a number of missions that can make a big difference in the upcoming battle. The heroes do not need to participate in all of these missions, and indeed, if the party has no stealth skills, they may be ill-suited for some of them. However, Gallo asks you to participate in whichever missions they feel best suited for. To aid their missions, Gallo can provide them with uniforms matching the armor or like livery of Steppengard is Megadon or Namin. And if the heroes are defeated during any of these missions, their foes do their best to do something, because I'm not going to tell you what it is. Just saying. However, there are 4 missions that you guys can take part in. 2 are the night before the battle. Remember, you have 4 days now of downtime because of everything, or maybe I should say that. You guys have 4 days of downtime before Steppengard's forces arrive because of everything you've done. And both Dazgaban and Tamor's forces will be there. So if there are things you want to craft, things you want to make, things you want to prepare for, fair, whatever, you can do it. But here are the 4 things that you guys can take part in. 2 of them are the night before. 2 of them are the day of. The night before, siege sabotage. The heroes can attempt to destroy enemy siege weapons, which could spare them and the forces of Gallo combined bombardment at the beginning of a battle. Or mage assassination. The evening before the battle, the heroes can attack the tent of the war mage Kelkin Threvanost, who is potentially as dangerous as several siege weapons himself. On the day of the
several
battle,
siege weapons, or the equivalent of.
The day of the battle, you can hold the line at the Authoril Vale, and the heroes and their fellow soldiers will face wave after wave of Steppengard forces. Or a coup. After the first wave of battle, Steppengard's commanders will send reinforcements, leaving their camp weakly defended, and the heroes could potentially sneak through dwarven tunnels and attempt to capture or kill the enemy commanders. Now, options here. All of these are deadly. All of these are potential ways to be dead but win the battle. The way that this battle will be won or lost is based on victory points. And I just want to let you know that you have already earned victory points from getting Dashkaban and Tamor to provide forces that will be here for this battle. However, there are also lots of ways to lose this battle. And there's also lots of ways to die. So the 4 options that you have in front, there's also the possibility of splitting the party to try to achieve goals. And so what you guys need to think about, besides what you want to do in the next 4 days, is, do you want to, on the night before, attack the siege weapons or attack the mage who's in charge of all of the spellcasters? Both of these involve some level of stealth. I will tell you that the one trying to attack the leader, Thelkin, or Threvanos, I should say, is you're going to need way more stealth to do that. And you guys, as we have seen historically, not that party.
Crush it.
But it doesn't mean you can't do it. I'm just saying that's
Rumors.
Yeah.
Fake news.
And then and then the day of the battle, your options are you can either hold the line or act as a reserve troop, and that once an initial line or an opportunity happens, you could try to stealthily get into the rear of the advancing troops and take out the commanders. That's probably going to involve stealth as well. Also, not your best thing.
Now, Tom, if we build some roads and upgrade some of the settlements to cities, how many victory points can we get?
Right.
It's a good question. I'm going to
'Cause I'm looking
say,
for the
How many
longest
sheep do you
road,
have?
and
what I'm going to say, what I would say is this: if going straight up Catan rules here, you guys in the next 4 days could probably build some roads, but I don't think you're going to get enough resources to build a settlement.
I mean, it's only 3 rocks and 2 hay. I'm pretty sure I can pick them up off the road for the
No,
rocks.
we're
And I'm
burning all the hay.
I'm pretty sure it's rocks. I'm sorry, it's bricks and trees for a road. Just saying.
no, for cities it's rocks and hay. For roads
Yeah, but
it's bricks.
okay. Yeah,
Yeah, he's trying to
it's fair.
upgrade.
Actually, you're fair. That's a good point. So
While you guys are doing that, I have all the sheep, so I win.
Right.
he went full
Sheep
sheep. He
fucker.
went full sheep.
TJ got all the knights. And it's just like, oh yeah, no, that is how you do it.
I just remember learning how to play Catan and being invited and like playing with Kevin and TJ and David.
Mm-hmm.
And I didn't even really understand what the game was doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that Kevin and TJ were like, God damn it, David, how do you do this every time? As he's like, yeah, I win the game again. Here's where you are. And so I just unfortunately, David in my mind, or fortunately, is like the super villain of Catan. Like he's just like this person that can't be beat because I've never played with him again. So
The thing is, he has like Yu-Gi-Oh rules, where it's like even though he chose 5, which is just a terrible number to choose, that's
it's a blue-eyed
constantly the
dragon.
one that
Yeah.
hits for him because he believes in the
9s
heart
and
of the
5s,
rolls.
10 best ones. It's never 8s and 6s.
So I think that what I'll say
Except
is
it is.
It isn't.
we've hit like the 11:30 mark for right now. I think that if there is any downtime activity or there's something that you want to try to suggest that Gallo could do, actually, you know what? Let's do this because it's probably time to show this off. You guys have already seen it, but we'll bring it back there. Nope, do it. That's fun. There we go. All right. Okay. So, just for shits and gigs, everybody can see Gallows Fend right now. Yes.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So, basically, this area right around here is where Stepping Guard's forces have set up. In various regions back here, like the camp commanders are and whatnot. This whole wood, the Innival Woods, is full of their forces, and you see that they've basically set up groundworks around here of like spear points and other things set up. Now, Gallows Fend has all of, and basically he's left a limited amount of folks back here to protect because everybody's right back here, here, and they're just basically going to be like, hit them, run back. Next group in, hit them, run back. You arrested, hit them, run back. And nobody's doing anything down here in the Nasham River basically provides like a board that you can tell nobody's fucking with. You do know that Markhold was like basically like tower defense area that's here. The areas that are here, these two like Dwarven strongholds or these, they cannot provide range capacity to get in here, but from here, Gallo has basically said, like, as soon as they advance, we're going to start just like pelting them. And then once they get like maybe a little bit beyond that, that's when our infantry and cavalry will have at it. The other thing to know is that for each of the missions that have been provided, as I kind of provided when you guys first started up the National River, the dwarves have created a series of tunnels that can get them anywhere. And for each of these missions, they can drop you via secret tunnel pretty close to where you need to be, like within like a half mile or maybe a couple of feet. The key is though that if you're discovered, they're going to blow up the tunnel so nobody can come back and get them. Is the kind of thing. So for this week, as you guys talk about this, obscurity already bounced out. You have 4 days of downtime if there's anything you want to do. And then the other thing to think about, and I will put this in either, I'll put it in Discord so people can look at it. The night before, there is the siege engine sabotage or the mage assassination. Both of these require stealth. One of them more so than the other. And then the other two is the day of the battle. The line, basically, like, like hold line, or you could be in a reserve group that then tries to go through these like underground tunnels, if they work, to take out the commanders that are in the back of the. So you guys decide what it is you want to do, and then maybe let me know this week, and I will prep, because the Battle of Gallows Fend is going to happen.
Yup. Let's do it.
I mean, I'm excited. Like, I'm excited to see how this goes. Like, I don't know what you guys are gonna do. I don't pick. I mean, shit. I don't know. But I'm excited what you do. Each one of these is pretty unique in their own right. So, you did a great job. This was, I know it was kind of like fetch questy, but you got these things done, and now it's time for this fight. So let's see how it goes. So
Absolutely. Let's see how it goes indeed.
also remember that you have
Got a bunch of stuff.
I want to make sure I've got this right. You guys have, with your 4 days of downtime, yep, the purchase limit in Gallows Fend is 15,000. So if you're looking for an item, just know that the max value that it could be is 15,000. Doesn't mean you can't find it if it's there. It just means that's the max value of what you're looking for. So
Yeah, of what
all
you
right.
can spend.
Exactly. Cool. So all right. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I know tonight was more or less just dodging shit as opposed to battling it, and some checks and whatnot. But you have brought us to the point of the Battle of Gallows Fend, and next week, I'll put all the choices down there. But throughout the week, look in, vote, say what it is you want to do, and we'll go from there. So thank you for playing. I hope you're having fun, and we'll go from there. Okay.
All right, goose night to all of you guys.
Obscurity. Goose night. Yeah.
Goose night.
Later.
Later, guys.